The feeling in my gut wouldn't go away. Hey Reddit. Throw RA I guess, though it feels like nothing is temporary anymore. I, 35M, have been married to my wife Lily, 32F, for 7 years. We met at a friend's wedding, clicked instantly, and things just worked. Until they didn't. I don't even know where to start. I guess it all began a few months ago. Lily started acting differently, nothing dramatic at first. Just small things. She started taking her phone everywhere. Even to the bathroom, which she never used to do. She changed her phone password and laughed it off when I asked why. "Oh, I don't want the dog butt dialing my boss again," she joked. It was funny. But it also wasn't. She started going out more too. Girls' nights, she'd say. Except the girls didn't seem to exist anymore. I checked in with her best friend one night while Lily was with her and yeah, she wasn't. I tried to convince myself it was nothing. Maybe I was overthinking. Maybe I was insecure. But deep down, I knew something was off. There's this gut feeling, that primal sense that something is breaking behind the scenes. I wanted to be wrong. God, I hoped I was wrong. But I wasn't. The clue I wasn't supposed to see. It happened on a Sunday. Lily had left early that morning, saying she was going to help her sister with wedding planning. I didn't question it. Honestly, I was just relieved she wasn't giving me the cold shoulder for once. While she was out, I decided to do some cleaning, not because I'm that domestic, but more because I needed something to do. Something to distract me from the growing knot in my stomach. That's when I found it. Her old iPad was in the bottom drawer of her nightstand. I didn't even know she still had it. Curiosity got the best of me. I powered it on. The thing was barely holding a charge, but it lit up. And it wasn't password protected. That iPad was still connected to her iCloud. And there it was. A string of iMessages from someone saved as B. At first, I thought maybe it was her brother, or a co-worker. But then I started reading them. "Last night was amazing. I can't stop thinking about you. You looked so sexy sneaking out this morning. Wish she wasn't home tonight. I need you." I swear my heart stopped. I just sat there, staring at the screen, rereading the messages like my brain needed more time to process what my eyes already knew. My wife, was cheating on me. The worst part? It wasn't some one-time thing. These messages dated back months. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I just went numb. I started watching everything. After I found the messages, I didn't say anything right away. I don't know why. Maybe part of me wanted to be absolutely sure before I confronted her. Or maybe I just wasn't ready to face it yet. Instead, I started paying attention. Closely. I watched her every move, not in a creepy way, but like a man quietly losing his mind, clinging to any sign that it might all be a mistake. She became colder. Less affectionate. She stopped touching me, stopped laughing at my jokes. Sex had become a distant memory. When I brought it up, she said she was stressed or tired or not in the mood. But she sure had energy to dress up and go out with the girls almost every week. I checked her location one night while she was at the movies with Amy. Funny thing, her location said she was parked outside a hotel for over 2 hours. I even walked by her car in the driveway the next day and noticed the passenger seat was pushed all the way back. I'm 6 feet 2 inches. She's 5 feet 4 inches. Someone else had been sitting there, someone tall. The pieces were clicking together fast, but still. I needed something undeniable. Something I could put in her face so she couldn't lie her way out. So, I did something I never thought I'd do. I bought a GPS tracker and hid it in her car. I hated myself for it. But I hated being lied to even more. The night I followed her. The GPS tracker worked better than I expected. I set up notifications so I'd get pinged whenever her car left the house. I felt sick doing it. Like I was turning into someone else. But I couldn't keep living in the dark. I needed the truth, even if it broke me. That Friday, she told me she was going to dinner with coworkers to celebrate someone's promotion. She even dressed up, heels, red lipstick, little black dress she hadn't worn in over a year. For a work dinner? Please. The GPS pinged her downtown first, which tracked. Then, about 45 minutes later, it showed her car had moved. To a motel on the edge of town. I stared at my phone, heart racing. I wanted to scream. To throw it. To just not care. But I cared. More than I wanted to. So I got in my car and drove. Like an idiot. Like a man who wanted to confirm what he already knew. When I pulled into the parking lot, her car was there. Room 214 had the curtains closed, light on behind them. I sat in my car for 20 minutes, gripping the wheel so hard my knuckles turned white. Eventually, I saw him. Tall, shaved head, smug face. He walked out first, zipping up his hoodie. Then she followed, adjusting her hair and laughing. Laughing. She didn't see me. And I didn't confront her. Not yet. I needed a plan. Her web of lies starts to unravel. The next morning, she walked into the kitchen like nothing happened. Kissed me on the cheek. Asked if I wanted pancakes. Pancakes? I played along. I asked how dinner went. She launched into this whole fake story, how her boss made a scene after 2 glasses of wine, how Amy was crying in the bathroom over some guy. It was so detailed, it actually scared me. Like, how many times has she done this before? I nodded, smiled, and made a mental note of every word. Then I asked something simple. Oh? What restaurant did you guys go to again? She blinked. Oh, that new tapas place on 5th. Wrong. The GPS showed she never even went near 5th Street. She was miles away at that motel with Baldy McSidepiece. I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, because of how bad a liar she was. And because I realized she thinks I'm stupid. I wanted to scream, I know you're lying, but instead I said, cool. We should try it sometime. She smiled, walked off, and left me there with a plate of pancakes and a stomach full of acid. That day, I started documenting everything. Screenshots, GPS logs, timestamps. I wasn't going to confront her empty-handed. If this turned into a war, I wanted to have the nukes. And deep down, a part of me was already mourning the marriage. I just hadn't said it out loud yet. The message that broke me. A few days after the pancake performance, I got the message that finally shattered whatever pieces of hope I had left. Lily left her laptop open on the kitchen counter while she was in the shower. Now, normally I wouldn't snoop, I swear. But after everything, I wasn't about to let another clue slip past me. Her iMessages were synced. I didn't even have to search. And there it was, right at the top. A thread with B, the same guy from the iPad. Only this time. It was graphic. And cruel. He still has no idea. Poor guy. I fake a headache and he leaves me alone. Smiley face emoji. You're so much better in bed than he ever was. I swear, sometimes I look at him and feel nothing. I'm just waiting till I can get out of this without drama. That last line punched me in the gut. She wasn't even conflicted. She wasn't torn or emotional. She was cold. Calculated. Like I was some obstacle to be managed, not a person with feelings or a husband she once claimed to love. That's when it hit me, she was never going to tell me. She was just going to keep sneaking around, living 2 lives, until she figured out how to replace me cleanly. That night, I didn't sleep. I lay in bed next to her, staring at the ceiling while she snored softly like everything was fine. But it wasn't fine. And I was done pretending. The confrontation begins. The next day, I decided it was time. I didn't blow up. I didn't throw things or yell. No drama. I wanted to hit her with the one thing she didn't expect, calm, cold truth. I waited until we were both sitting on the couch, and I just asked, Lily, are you cheating on me? She blinked. That was it. Blinked. Then laughed. What? No. What are you even talking about? So I pulled out my phone. Opened the iPad photos I had synced. Pulled up the messages. Her face changed instantly. She went pale, then red. Then the lies started pouring out. That's not what it looks like. We were just flirting, it didn't mean anything. I was lonely, you've been distant. I only met him once. It's not serious. And finally, my favorite. It was your fault. You made me feel unwanted. I sat there in silence as she threw every excuse in the book at me. Watching her squirm. Watching her try to shift the blame onto me, like I had somehow caused her to sneak off to cheap motels with another man. But the thing that stunned me most. She never apologized. Not once. Not a single, sincere I'm sorry. Just lies. Deflections. Manipulation. That's when I realized, this wasn't a mistake for her. This was a lifestyle. Gaslighting on a whole new level. After I confronted her, I thought maybe, she'd break down. Cry. Apologize. Say she wanted to fix things. But nope. What I got instead was full-blown gaslighting. For the next few days, she acted like I was the problem. "You're overreacting. You're being paranoid. It was just texting. You're ruining the marriage by being obsessed with this. Like, are you serious?" I had proof. Screenshots. GPS history. Her own words. But somehow, she spun the narrative so hard she tried to make me feel guilty for finding out. She even accused me of spying on her. "You violated my privacy," she shouted one night. I nearly laughed. Her privacy? After she violated our entire marriage? And then came the tears. Not real ones, crocodile ones. She cried about how hard things had been for her. How she felt trapped. How I wasn't emotionally available. How she slipped up because she felt invisible. Invisible? I cooked. I worked. I cleaned. I supported her when she was between jobs. I stood by her through her mom's illness. I was there, every damn day. But none of that mattered now. Because she'd rewritten the story in her head where I was the villain and she was the poor, misunderstood victim. At that point, I knew, there was no saving this. This wasn't a person who made a mistake. This was someone who thought she'd get away with it. And I wasn't going to let her. I told her family, and it backfired. At this point, I was emotionally wrecked. I had no idea who I was even married to anymore. So I made a decision. I told her sister. Her sister and I had always been close. She used to joke that if Lily ever messed things up, she'd switch teams and marry me herself. So I thought maybe, just maybe, she'd be on my side. I sent her the screenshots, the messages, the GPS history. I told her everything. Her reply? "Wow. That's messy. But maybe you should talk to Lily first and give her space. She's been really stressed lately." Stressed? Stressed? I was floored. Apparently, cheating is now a valid form of stress relief. A week later, her mom texted me a long paragraph about marriages going through phases and how every relationship has temptations. I couldn't believe it. They were making excuses for her. Like I was being difficult by not forgiving fast enough. It was like watching someone rob you, and then being told to apologize for standing in their way. Even worse, Lily started using them as a shield. "My family understands what I'm going through," she said smugly one night. She even threatened me with therapy. "If you want to save this marriage, you'll come to counseling and stop acting like a victim." That's when I realized, she didn't want forgiveness. She wanted control. The hidden bank account. I thought I had seen the worst of it. I thought I was already broken enough. But then came the final twist, the one that turned everything from betrayal into full-on sabotage. I was going through some paperwork in our home office, just trying to distract myself, when I found a bank statement from an account I didn't recognize. Different bank. Different account number. Her name only. I wouldn't have even noticed it if she hadn't left it mixed in with our tax documents. Curious, I called the bank pretending I was her assistant. Yeah, sketchy, I know. They wouldn't give me much, but they confirmed the account had been open for over 6 months, and had regular deposits. Thousands. That made no sense. Her job had direct deposit into our joint account. So where was this money coming from? I confronted her, again. And this time, she cracked a little. She admitted she had been moving money secretly. For security, she said. In case things fell apart. So while I was breaking my back trying to keep us afloat, she was building her escape plan. Quietly. Strategically. Like she knew this would all blow up and she just needed a cushion to land on. I don't know what hurt more, her cheating. Or the fact that she had been planning for the end while I was still trying to save us. At that moment, something inside me finally snapped. She wasn't my wife anymore. She was just a stranger I used to trust. The breaking point. That night, I didn't sleep. Again. I just lay in bed while she scrolled on her phone next to me, like nothing was wrong. Like we were some normal couple winding down before bed, not two people living in a crumbling lie. And I realized, I couldn't do it anymore. So I got out of bed at 2 a.m., went downstairs, and started packing a bag. Not because I was leaving her. Because I wanted her gone. This was my house. I bought it. I maintained it. I paid the damn mortgage. She could go play house with her side guy in a motel, for all I cared. I wrote her a note. Not for drama. Just to keep myself calm. I know everything. You've lied enough. I'll be meeting with a lawyer next week. You can stay with your friends from now on. I left it on the kitchen table and crashed on the couch. When she came down in the morning, still half asleep, she read it and just stared at me. Like she was shocked. "You're kicking me out?" she asked, voice cold. "No," I said. "You did that to yourself." She tried to argue, cry, threaten, beg, all in 5 minutes. Like flipping through channels on a TV. But none of it worked. I was done. And when she finally left, slamming the door behind her, I didn't feel sad. I felt free. It was the first deep breath I'd taken in months. What I found out after she left. You'd think once she walked out that door, the worst would be over. But no. The betrayal wasn't done with me yet. Over the next few days, I started piecing more together, things I had ignored, overlooked, or dismissed before. It was like my brain, finally out of survival mode, started letting in all the red flags I had buried. Turns out, she had been seeing the guy, Brian, by the way, yeah, I finally got his full name, for over 8 months. Not a fling. Not a one-time screw-up. A full-blown second relationship. I found Venmo transactions labeled lunch, kissing face emoji, and our getaway, red heart emoji. Found a calendar invite she forgot to delete from her email titled B&L Weekend, red heart emoji, dated months before I found anything. She even used our joint credit card to pay for some of it. Hotel rooms. Uber rides. Restaurant bills. She was literally cheating on me. On my dime. And the worst part? A buddy of mine later admitted he'd seen her with another guy at a wine bar once but assumed it was her cousin. Didn't want to stir the pot, he said. Everyone just assumed we were happy. And I worked so hard to keep it that way. I didn't even notice I was the only one fighting for it. That realization broke me more than the cheating did. The divorce talk. A week later, I met with a lawyer. Walking into that office felt like walking into a funeral, except I wasn't mourning my wife anymore. I was mourning the version of myself who used to believe in her. The guy who thought love was enough. The lawyer was calm, professional, and surprisingly kind. I laid everything out. Evidence, screenshots, the hidden bank account, her spending habits, even witness statements from people who'd seen her with Brian. She looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You have a strong case. This won't be easy, but it will be clean." Those words stayed with me. When I told Lily I was filing, she went silent. Then came the real her. She screamed. Accused me of being cold and cruel for giving up so fast. She claimed I was destroying our life over one mistake. One mistake? 8 months. Multiple hotel visits. Lies stacked on lies. That's not a mistake, that's a campaign. She asked me to consider counseling again. "You're just going to throw away everything we built?" I said, "You already did." She cried, but I didn't comfort her. Not anymore. I had already done the hardest part, letting go. Now I was just taking out the trash. Picking up the pieces. After she moved out, the silence was deafening, but also strangely peaceful. No fake smiles. No forced small talk. No pretending things were okay while my heart bled out. The first night alone was hard. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the empty space beside me, and it hit me, how much time I had wasted trying to save someone who never wanted to be saved. Someone who chose lies over love, manipulation over honesty. I went through the house and boxed up her stuff. Every photo, every trinket, every souvenir from fake anniversaries. I dropped it off at her sister's place and didn't look back. But healing isn't a straight line. Some mornings I woke up and reached for her out of habit. Sometimes I caught myself missing her laugh, or the version of her I thought I knew. And that's what stung the most. Not what she did, but who she really was. I started therapy. Got back to the gym. Reconnected with friends I had drifted from during the chaos of our marriage. For the first time in years, I started feeling like myself again. Not the husband. Not the victim. Just me. And slowly, painfully, that started to feel like enough. What I learned, and what I'd tell you. It's been 3 months since she walked out of my life. The divorce is in motion. The paperwork's almost done. And while I wish I could say I've moved on completely, that would be a lie. The truth is, betrayal leaves a scar. Not one you can see, but one you feel every time someone gets too close. But I'm healing. Every day. Slowly. I don't miss her. I miss the version of life I thought we had. I miss being able to trust without hesitation. I miss being someone who didn't feel the need to track their partner's location just to sleep at night. If you're reading this and you're in a situation where things don't feel right, listen to your gut. Don't gaslight yourself into thinking you're just paranoid. Real love doesn't make you feel like you're losing your mind. And if someone cheats on you and tries to blame you for it, leave. No amount of history, shared bills, or family pressure is worth sacrificing your peace of mind and your self-respect. You're not weak for hurting. You're not broken because someone else couldn't love you right. You're still whole. You just have to remember who you were before they tried to make you forget. And as for me, I'm done being the man who begs to be chosen. From now on, I choose myself. If this story hit you hard, or if you want more raw, real stories like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It helps more than you know.